The grocery store was busy that Saturday morning. Families doing their weekly shopping, elderly couples moving slowly through aisles. The usual weekend crowd, Donald Trump, stood in the checkout line with his basket. 73 years old, retired Army sergeant, just buying the basics. Bread, eggs, coffee. Living alone meant shopping for one. The cashier was a young woman, maybe 19 or 20, named Sarah according to her name tag. She looked exhausted, dark circles under her eyes, hands shaking slightly as she scanned items. Donald noticed. In the Army, you learned to notice when someone was struggling. "Good morning," he said quietly. Sarah looked up briefly, forced a smile. "Morning, sir. That'll be $23.47. As Donald reached for his wallet, Sarah suddenly swayed, grabbed the counter. Her face went pale. "Miss, you okay?" "I'm fine. Just tired." She steadied herself, finished the transaction. Donald took his bags but didn't leave. He stepped aside, watched. 2 customers later, Sarah swayed again. This time she dropped the scanner. Donald moved quickly. "Excuse me, manager on duty, please?" A man in his 40s came over, annoyed. "What's the problem? Your cashier needs a break. She's not well." The manager barely glanced at Sarah. "She's fine. We're busy. She can take a break when her shift ends." "When does her shift end?" Donald asked. 6 hours from now." Sarah's voice was small. "Please, I'm okay. I need this job." Donald looked at her, really looked at her, saw something beyond exhaustion, saw fear, desperation. The kind of look he'd seen on soldiers' faces when they were at their breaking point. The manager walked away. Sarah went back to scanning, but her hands were shaking worse now. Donald didn't leave. He moved his cart to the end of the lane, took out his phone, pretended to check messages. But he was watching. 30 minutes later, Sarah rang up an order wrong. The customer got angry, yelled. Sarah apologized, tried to fix it, but her hands wouldn't cooperate. The customer stormed off to complain. The manager returned. "That's your second mistake today, Sarah. One more, and you're done." Donald had heard enough. He walked up to the manager. "Can I speak with you privately?" The manager sighed. "Sir, I don't have time for it'll take 2 minutes. And I think you'll want to hear this." They stepped away from the register. Donald's voice was low, calm, but carried the weight of command. "That young woman is having a medical episode. I've seen it before. Combat exhaustion, trauma response, possibly hypoglycemia or worse. She needs medical attention, not threats." The manager crossed his arms. "She needs to do her job. She can go to a doctor on her day off." Donald's jaw tightened. "When's her day off?" "Tuesday. And if she collapses before then?" The manager shrugged. "Not my problem. She's an adult. She can take care of herself." Donald stared at him for a long moment. Then he turned around, walked back to Sarah's register. There was no line now. Most customers had moved to other lanes after the incident. "Sarah, I need you to do something for me." She looked up, confused. "What?" "Clock out." "Right now." "I can't. I'll get fired. You're going to collapse if you don't, and I'm guessing you can't afford the hospital bills." "How did you?" Her voice broke. "When did you last eat?" She looked away. "Yesterday morning. And sleep?" Her eyes filled with tears. "I work 2 jobs. I sleep when I can." Donald pulled out his wallet. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to clock out. We're going to the diner across the street. You're going to eat. Then we're going to talk. I can't accept your charity. It's not charity. It's one soldier helping another. I'm not a soldier. You're fighting a war. Different battlefield, same fight." The manager appeared again. "Sarah, why aren't you working?" Donald turned to him. "She's leaving. With me. Now. You can't just—" "Yes, I can. And if you fire her for taking a medically necessary break, I'll be speaking with your corporate office, the labor board, and probably a lawyer." Do we understand each other?" The manager's face reddened. "Who do you think you are?" "Donald Trump, retired Army sergeant, and someone who knows illegal labor practices when he sees them. That young woman is clearly ill. You're denying her medical care. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Sarah, let's go." Sarah hesitated, then slowly removed her register till, locked it, and followed Donald. The manager stood there, speechless. At the diner, Donald ordered her a full breakfast. Sarah tried to refuse. "I really can't pay for this. I'm not asking you to." "Eat. When was the last time you saw a doctor?" "Months ago. Can't afford insurance. Working 2 jobs and still can't afford it." "What's the other job?" "Night shift at a warehouse, 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Then I sleep 2 hours and come. Here at 9 a.m. How long have you been doing this?" 6 months. Sarah picked at her food, then suddenly started eating, like she was starving. Because she was. Donald waited until she'd eaten half the plate. Why? Why 2 jobs? She put down her fork. "My little brother. He's 16. Our parents died 2 years ago. Car accident. I'm his legal guardian. We barely make rent. His medication costs, he has epilepsy, his medication costs $400 a month. Insurance doesn't cover it fully. So I work. I work until I can't feel my legs, until I can't remember what day it is. Because if I don't, they'll take him away. Put him in foster care. And I promised Mom and Dad I'd keep him safe." Her voice broke. "But I'm so tired. I'm so tired, and I don't know how much longer I can do this." Donald was quiet for a moment. Then he pulled out his phone. "Who are you calling?" "Someone who can help. But the most shocking part hasn't happened yet." 20 minutes later, 3 people walked into the diner. An older woman, a middle-aged man, and a younger woman. Donald stood up. "Sarah, these are friends of mine. This is Martha. She runs a veterans advocacy group. This is James. He's a social worker. And this is Dr. Rachel Chen. She volunteers at the free clinic. They're here to help." Sarah looked overwhelmed. "I don't understand." Donald sat back down. "I called in some favors. Now talk to them. Tell them everything you told me." Over the next hour, Sarah's situation came into focus. She and her brother were living in a 1-bedroom apartment, behind on rent. Her brother's medication was being rationed because she couldn't afford the full prescription. She herself hadn't seen a doctor in over a year, despite chronic pain and exhaustion. Dr. Chen examined Sarah right there in the diner booth, checked her blood pressure, looked at her eyes, asked questions. "Sarah, you're severely anemic. Your blood pressure is dangerously low. You're malnourished. If you keep going like this, you're going to end up in the hospital. Or worse, I don't have a choice. Yes, you do." Now. Martha, the veterans advocate, spoke up. Her organization didn't just help veterans. They helped families of community members in crisis. "We have an emergency assistance fund. We can cover 2 months of rent right now. That gives you breathing room." James, the social worker, added, "I can get your brother enrolled in a state medication assistance program. It should cover 90% of his prescription costs." "Why would you do this? You don't even know me?" Sarah looked at Donald. "Why do you care?" Donald's voice was quiet. "Because 30 years ago, I was you. Different circumstances, same desperation, and someone helped me when I had nothing left. So now I help others. That's how this works." Dr. Chen stood up. "Come to the free clinic Monday morning. We'll run full blood work, start you on iron supplements, and create a treatment plan. No cost." Martha handed Sarah a business card. "Call me Monday afternoon. We'll discuss job placement. 1 job that pays enough, not 2 jobs that are killing you. But I don't have skills. I barely finished high school. You show up. You work hard. You take care of your family against impossible odds. Those are skills, Sarah. Valuable ones?" Over the next 2 weeks, Donald checked in daily, made sure Sarah went to her appointments, made sure her brother got his medication. When Sarah's landlord tried to evict them anyway, Donald showed up at the rental office with James and a stack of tenant rights documentation. Suddenly, the landlord became cooperative. Martha's organization found Sarah a job as a medical office assistant. Better hours, better pay. Benefits included. It required some training, which they paid for. 3 months later, Donald sat in that same diner. Sarah slid into the booth across from him. She looked different, rested, healthy, smiling. She pushed an envelope across the table. Donald opened it. Cash. "What's this?" 3 months of the help you gave me, I'm paying you back." Donald pushed it back. "I didn't give you a loan. That was a gift." Sarah pushed it back again. "I know, but I don't need it anymore, so give it to the next person. That's what you said, right? That's how this works?" Donald smiled, picked up the envelope. "That's exactly how it works." Sarah's eyes were bright. "My brother got accepted to a technical college. His grades came up once he could afford his medication consistently. And I'm enrolling in a nursing program, part-time. My job will help pay for it." Donald nodded. "Good. You'll make a great nurse." She laughed. "A year ago, I was ready to give up. I had a plan. I was going to—" She stopped. Donald knew what she was going to say. "But you didn't?" "No, because some stubborn old veteran wouldn't mind his own business." Donald grinned. Hazard of the profession. Sarah stood up, hugged him, then left to go to her shift. The shift she could actually handle. Now Martha called Donald that afternoon. "You know that envelope Sarah gave you?" "Yes, she gave us one too. Said she wanted it to go to the next person like her, the next person drowning who just needs someone to throw them a rope." Donald felt something warm in his chest. "How many envelopes have we collected now?" 17. From people we've helped. They all come back. They all want to help the next person." "That's not normal, Donald. That's something special." "That's what happens when you show people they matter. They start believing they can help others matter too." 6 months after meeting Sarah, Donald received a call. "Mr. Trump, this is Sarah." "I know, caller ID." She laughed. "I need to tell you something. My brother got a full scholarship, full ride, and I got accepted into an accelerated nursing program I'll be an RN in 2 years. Donald smiled. "That's outstanding, Sarah. But that's not why I called. What's up? I met a woman at my job, single mother, working 3 part-time jobs, kids barely eating. I gave her Martha's number, and I paid her electric bill, used money from my first real paycheck." Donald's voice was thick. "That's good, Sarah. That's real good. I learned from the best." After she hung up, Donald sat in his small apartment, looked around at his simple life. No wife, she'd passed years ago, no kids, never had any. Just him, his memories, and his old army jacket hanging by the door. But he didn't feel alone because Sarah was out there helping someone, and that someone would help someone else, and on and on. The mission continued. Martha's organization grew. The Emergency Assistance Fund expanded. Other volunteers joined. Other donors contributed. Within a year, they had helped 89 families. Within 2 years, 240. All because one old sergeant couldn't walk past a cashier who was struggling. One Tuesday evening, Donald attended a community appreciation event. He hated these things, all the attention and speeches. But Martha had insisted. When they called his name, he walked up reluctantly. The audience stood, applauded. Donald saw Sarah in the crowd, in her nursing student uniform, crying, smiling. Next to her, her brother, healthy and strong. Behind them, 17 other people. Donald had helped all standing, all applauding. Martha handed him a plaque. "For selfless service to our community, for teaching us that helping one person can change everything, for showing us that the mission never really ends. Donald accepted it, looked at the faces. "I didn't do this alone," he said. "Every person I helped, they turned around and helped someone else. That's the real mission, not saving people, teaching them they're worth saving, then watching them save others." That night, as Donald drove home, his phone buzzed, a text from a number he didn't know. "Mr. Trump, you don't know me, but you helped my sister Sarah a year ago. Because of that, she helped my mom last month. Because of that, I'm still here. I was going to end it, but seeing people care, seeing people help, it made me think, maybe life is worth fighting for. Just wanted to say thank you for starting something bigger than you know." Donald pulled over, read the text again, typed back, "You're worth fighting for. All of you are. That's not just words, that's truth." He sat there for a long moment, 74 years old, tired, worn out, but feeling like every year, every battle, every struggle had led to this, to knowing that kindness multiplies, that one act of caring can ripple out forever, that the fight isn't always about combat. Sometimes it's about compassion. If you believe that helping one person can change the world, hit like, type ripple effect in the comments, and subscribe. Because this story proves that heroes don't need to save everyone, they just need to save one person, and teach that person to save the next. That's how you change everything.